Does your racial and ethnic background or religious indifference play a significant role for your OCS experience? Most things in general, you're going to have natural preconceived notions. No matter how you spend, no matter how you act, whatever. If they see a certain skin tone or a certain way or demeanor, whether you're from a certain part of town or you have a certain religion, it's already thoughts that this is what they depict of you. However, it can play a part in furthering a certain narrative or preconceived notion that you already had on that particular demographic. So yeah, does it play a significant role? No, but it can put fuel on the fire if you already have some type of like character indifference or something that people don't necessarily agree with in the majority. Like it was my roommate, he has a different religion. So everybody has religions that they follow, stuff like that. However, in the ISAP, where it's pretty much the bylaws of OCS, they have certain things of how they accommodate certain religions, right? So his religion actually was not in the ISAP. So they had to accommodate him a little differently. So even though everybody else has their own religious accommodation, he had his own separate thing. So once he got everything situated, like he got his own POV, he was able to leave formation at certain times early to go pray to his God and all that great stuff. And a lot of people had a lot of issues with that. And they kind of have a certain type of resentment, thinking that, oh, he's kind of finessing all because we have this person that study this religion, this person that study this religion, they don't have to leave, they don't have to do this and that. And it can be a lot of religious insensitivity because they don't understand that other person's religion like that. They just think that, okay, he's just getting by and stuff. So it's a very big disconnect on that. Did that affect his people viewed him? Yes, it did. People really didn't like him. But however, it wasn't on the basis that his religion that they didn't like him. They just didn't like him as a person. But him having those religious accommodations and as opposed to everybody else, it kind of made it even worse. As far as racial background wise, I would say this: in a lot of situations, especially like I say like this, you're gonna be in the minority on certain situations, well, more situations. So certain things that some people can do, you don't have the same luxury to do it in abundance as somebody else. So say if you're well received with the majority and you act crazy, it's kind of get overlooked, especially if you have a certain pedigree to yourself. The same type of person with a different can have the same pedigree and move the same way, but they're a minority, they look a little bit different. So they're given less forgiveness and less room for error on certain things. They're probably going to think of them a little more negatively as opposed to them. They may not like this person in the majority, but since they understand them a little bit naturally because they have similar backgrounds, similar upbringings for the most part, they're more likely to give a little bit of leeway, as opposed to someone that you probably don't interact with like that, that's probably got a different background. They do the same thing, they think of it in a more negative fashion, so it blows out of proportion. So one person could be in that major group, could be screaming, talking disrespectful to the cadre, but since you understand their way of humor, since they're in the majority people's thought process, they kind of get like, okay, yeah, he just joke, he just trolling, he's right at what he's saying, but he's not being disruptive. I kind of get where he's coming from. As opposed to someone they never really interacted, they might say a certain thing, even if it means the same exact thing that they're saying in the majority, they're gonna meet like, oh man, he kind of disruptive, he kind of a dick, he kind of like immature or something like that. And we kind of don't want him. He a cancer to the environment, even though he's interacting the same manner as them. So it can be a lot of like double standards with how things are being treated, and also less social acceptance. Can you be in the minority group and be accepted? Of course, yes, you can. But like I said, it's just more of a preconceived notion of how people are depicted. Like, say, for instance, if you're certain stereotypes, say if you're black or something like that, right? You're known and the stereotype is like you known for being late. Like, they're known for not showing up on time, And you see a black person come in late, they might show up late 1 or 2 times out of 12. But in your mind, since you already have that ideology, they're always late, you're gonna always say they never show up to formation on time, even though they probably did it twice in the whole entire cycle, which actually happened to one of the people that was in my platoon, and Charlie. He used to come in late, not often, but maybe twice. But since they look at him, he's like, oh, okay. And now he always get labeled as being late. Is that a racial thing? I would say kind of, sort of, because some people do come in late and they really don't say the same exact thing to them. Like I said, it doesn't really play a major part. It's just like I said, it's confirmed preconceived thoughts that that person may have had, and it's kind of hard to get that out their system.